Box 21 times box 22 over 100. Enter the calculation.
What?
VAT, victimize all traders.
Oh, yes, look, I want to talk to you about Bill Riley.
Oh, yes? What's he been up to?
I've promised that we'll help him buy a house.
This has never been brought up at a board meeting.
Well, I've never had the chance. I didn't know about his problem until yesterday. Look, I've said that we'll look after the down payment and arrange the best possible mortgage for him through our brokers.
I wish you'd discuss these things with me, Ted, before you make any rash promises.
Well, you've hardly been available for consultation over the past 2 days, have you? Too busy with David plotting to push me out of the chair.
Now, let's not start all that again.
Look, I'll be sending Bill Riley up, and I want you to give him all the help you can.
I have no intention of making free handouts from company funds before it's been discussed and approved by the board.
I've talked to Jenny about it, and she agrees. But if you want the formality of being outvoted, then I'll call a meeting today.
You're the one who always insists on full discussion on everything.
That's right, I've always believed in it. But you two have convinced me that I'm wrong. From now on, when I want anything done, I'm going to line up the votes beforehand and push it through on the nod. Now, don't tell me I haven't warned you, right?
And if you just go over to our departure lounge, all right? Sir, over there. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm trying to get on a flight to Brussels this morning.
Have you got a ticket?
Yes, but they asked me to check with you.
Unfortunately, we had a flight for Brussels cancelled this morning. It's put a lot of pressure on the other flights.
What about Sabina or one of the others?
I'm afraid there are no seats at the moment. Not until this afternoon.
I didn't want to hang around that long.
It's just a single seat.
Yes.
There may be a possibility on our 542, 1105. I shan't know about that for another half an hour. I'll put you on standby.
Oh, yes, please, if you could.
The name?
Mrs. Hammond.
All right, Mrs. Hammond. Well, don't go too far away.
I'll just be right over here.
Right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ah, Barbara.
I've come in response to your urgent summons.
There's no need to put it like that.
Well, you did sound very peremptory on the phone. What's it all about?
Your debt to Mrs. Hammond.
Oh, am I going to get another lecture?
No, as from this morning, we drop the subject and forget about it. I want you to take this straight to Mrs. Hammond as quickly as you can and thank her for her help.
What is it? A cheque?
No, I wanted to make it more final than that. The £5,012 she lent you was paid into her account yesterday afternoon. In there's a paying-in slip.
You paid it?
That's right.
But you had no right to do that. That's my debt, Mum.
It's done now. Off you go.
Where did you get £5,000 from?
That's my business.
Right, I owe it to you now.
You can pay me back, Barbara, whenever you like. Now get over there quickly in case she's going out.
Why didn't you post it to her?
That would be rather impersonal.
Or take it to her yourself?
I thought you'd prefer to. After all, as you said, it was your debt.
Are you trying to humiliate me, Mum?
Barbara, I was the one who was humiliated. Far more than you may have realized. If you find this embarrassing, I'll go along with you.
Oh, Jenny, have you got a minute? Oh, hello, Barbara.
Hello.
Are you just going out?
No, she's not.
Oh.
It's up to you, Barbara.
Hobson's choice, isn't it?
Shall I go out and come in again?
No, it's all right. Goodbye.
Oh, Jenny, I wondered if you'd check these schedules for me.
Of course.
Is there any lag?
For?
The flight to Brussels. You put me on standby. The name's Mrs. Hammond.
Oh, I'm afraid not, Mrs. Hammond. Sorry.
When is the next one?
There's a Sabina at 13:25, but I doubt if we'll get on that one. I can still get you on the afternoon flight.
That's too late. I've got to be back today.
If you want to take a chance with the Sabina, I'll put you down.
Yeah. No. No, thank you. I think I'll leave it. Oh, where are the telephone kiosks?
Just down there, past the bar.
There.
If we have an overnight Manchester on Tuesday, then there's no point in making 2 separate journeys.
No, you're quite right, as usual.
I'll tell Tom in the traffic office.
There was quite a bit of fog on the East Coast this morning. So one of the drivers was telling me.
Edward, you didn't really need my help on those schedules. You could quite easily have worked it out with Tom. I'm sure you're not all that fascinated about fog on the East Coast.
Well...
Now, what did you really come in here to tell me?
Well, now, since you've raised it, I was talking about taking a holiday.
You were?
Yes, perhaps next week.
Anywhere in particular?
Oh, well, what I'd really enjoy would be just to get in the car and drive down into the country and then stay at a pub overnight and then the next day move on and the next night stay at another country pub.
Oh, a pub crawl?
Oh, no. It's just that I don't like hotels. Well, you know, just wander around, no particular destination.
Sounds lovely.
You're due for a holiday as well.
True.
Well, how would that appeal to you?
It depends.
Depends on what?
On a lot of things, Edward. We're getting close again. Perhaps too close. I have to consider whether I want to go through all that again.
You will accept it, won't you?
Since your mother's already paid it into my account, I don't have much alternative, do I?
No.
Well, I suppose I'd have done the same.
I am sorry it's caused so much trouble.
You weren't to blame, Barbara. I was.
You were just being kind.
People don't always see it that way.
I know I shouldn't say this, but I do wish you and Mum could be friends.
Do you, Barbara?
Does it really matter anymore what happened so long ago?
It conditions us.
I had a boyfriend once. He had this marvellous philosophy. He used to say, when you get up in the morning, pretend you've just been born. Nothing has ever happened to you before. So that everything you do for the first time. And everyone you meet for the first time.
What a lovely idea.
It makes life very exciting.
Did he carry it through?
Oh, yes. One day I rang him up and he said, "Who are you?" End of boyfriend.
Barbara, I'm going to have a glass of sherry. How about you?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
Well, don't sound so surprised.
Well, it's usually coffee.
I'm adopting your old boyfriend's philosophy, Barbara. There isn't any usually. It's a new day. We start everything afresh.
Hello, is that the Palace Hotel? Room 221, please. Yes. Oh, it's engaged. Look, I am calling from England. Now, would you mind interrupting that call, please? It is very, very urgent. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Hello? Who is that? Oh, I think they must have given me the wrong room. I want to speak to a Mr. Fox. He's out. I see. Who are you? I thought his secretary was in London. I see. No. There's no message. Don't bother.
Anne, where have you been? I've rung you twice this morning. What? You seem to spend more time shopping now than just the two of us than when the children were at home. Yeah. All right, darling, it was a joke. I just called to find out what the doctor said. But I thought you were waiting for her to call you.
Appointment is fixed for tomorrow afternoon, Brian. It's not that urgent. Yes, I'm perfectly all right. Is there anything else? Look, don't bother to ring me back. I'm going out. Oh, for heaven's sake, Brian, I don't have to report my every move to you, do I? Yes, all right. Goodbye.
Oh,
Hello, Bill. Oh, Miss Hammond, Miss Kingsley.
Hey, Bill.
The usual?
No, let me get you one.
No, it's against the union rules. It's the gaffer's call during working hours. 2 pints of the usual, Hilary, and a gin and tonic. Oh, I see you got that wide load away.
Oh, the boiler. Aye. Almost at the front gates with her and all. We're quite a game. And your photographer lady hopping about all over the shop. Still, she enjoyed herself.
Now, listen, Bill, if she gives you any trouble, now just sling her out on my authority.
Ah, she's no bother, really. Anyhow, it gives the lads a kick. Seen a bit of glamour about for a change.
Thank you, Bill.
Oh, not counting you, of course, Miss Kingsley.
Too late.
Have you got a minute, Bill?
Oh, I've got an hour. I don't want to spend it talking shop.
No, it's your shop, not mine.
Oh.
Can I get some food?
Yes, please, Jenny. Well, you can tell your wife to start looking for that house.
Is it all right with the other directors, then?
That's not your worry.
Look, if there's any argument, I'd sooner not
Look,
bother.
just find the house, and when you know the price, go up and see Mr. Bryan, all right?
You know I hate asking, don't you?
So you've told me a dozen times.
I mean, if it wasn't for the missus...
I'm doing it for your missus, not for you. Now swallow your pint and swallow your pride with it.
You may live to regret it.
Very possibly.
I mean, I'll be tying myself to Ammons now. You'll not get rid of me as long as I owe you money.
No, I've got round that one. I'm having you insured for the amount you owe the firm. And then when I want to get rid of you, I'm having you run over by a 10-tonner and collect the money, right? I might even drive it myself.
Well, you'll be entitled. You're the governor. As long as you stay governor. And once you're not, I'll walk out of that depot same day, and I'll take half of the lads with me.
Is there anything that goes on upstairs that you don't know about?
Not much.
I'm being desperate, Thelma. I swear I won't ever do it again.
Have you seen your doctor today?
What can I say to her?
Well, I can only make sympathetic noises. I don't see that can help much.
I tried to go and see him this morning.
To Brussels?
I thought I could just hop on a plane, be there in an hour, have lunch with him, talk it all out, and then be back here before Brian came home. But all the planes were full.
Would that have solved anything?
I suppose not. I just wanted to see him so badly, that's all. And as it happens, it was lucky that I didn't go. I managed to get through to him, through to his room. A woman answered the telephone, and she pretended to be his secretary.
Well, how do you know she wasn't?
His secretary's in London. I spoke to her 5 minutes later.
But he could have taken one on over there as well, or the hotel provided one.
No. It explains everything. Why he never calls. Why he's always supposed to be out whenever I call him.
Well, I would have thought that if you were calling mid-morning, it very probably was his secretary. But let's assume you're right. What made you think that you had an exclusive option on him?
Well, but the things he'd said. Given me to believe. I don't know what I believe anymore.
You realise, of course, you've got yourself into a very familiar trap.
I suppose so.
You fell for him because he was remote from all this. The more remote he becomes, the more you want him, the less likelihood there is of getting him.
That's the diagnosis. What's the cure?
Well, you discussed that endlessly. Forget him.
Do you know, I read somewhere that doctors can put people into a very deep sleep. They can sleep for weeks. And when they wake up, their whole body is refreshed. And their mind is able to cope with things again. Wouldn't it be marvellous if one could just sleep it all off?
No, you shouldn't try and tackle them stairs, Mrs. Hammond. Sit yourself down, get your breath back.
And I used to run up and down without thinking.
So did I at one time. I get a bit puffed myself these days. I'll go and find him for you.
No, don't bother. I told the telephone girl she'll find him. Is that coffee hot over there?
Soon see. Ah, right enough. There we are. Oh, when your husband was here, he used to keep a bone china set for visitors, remember?
Never used to consider me a visitor. I used to have a mug.
And he had a tin of Mary biscuits. I'll swear he used to count them every night to make sure I hadn't been at them.
You miss the old days, don't you?
I do. Well, there you are, Mrs. Hammond.
Thank you.
If you'll excuse me, I have a load to get away.
Yes, of course. Thank you for looking after me, Mr. Riley.
Well, I doubt he'll be long now.
Anne, why don't you go upstairs and rest? You look absolutely exhausted.
Did you bring your car?
Yes, why?
Could you drop me at the nearest taxi rank?
You're not going back to the air terminal.
Nope. The station. I want to see the children.
Why? Suddenly the children.
I just have to see the children, that's all.
Well, don't you think you ought to ring first and let them know you're coming?
No, I want it to be a surprise. Didn't you once say that children were a stabilizing influence? I was very rude to you, and I said, how could you possibly know because you didn't have any? You were right. That's what I need now. I need to see them and to talk to them and to know that I belong somewhere. To someone.
Doesn't Brian count at all in your mind?
Brian? I can't get through to him.
Can you get through to them?
I can try.
Hi, Mother. What brings you here?
Guilt, really, David. I was just about to prepare lunch and I remembered it was your birthday.
Oh, good heavens, that's not important.
Well, it is to me. I never thought I'd forget one of my son's birthdays. It's nothing very much and very hastily chosen. Oh, are they?
Well, Jill.
Oh, dear.
Well, never mind. I never have enough couplings.
One never knows what to choose from men. Oh, dear, I wish I'd remembered in time and talked to Jill.
Well, they're a perfect contrast to the others, thank you. But you really shouldn't have dragged yourself all the way up here.
Oh, it was a chance to see round the depot again. And anyway, I want to ask you and Jill to come for drinks this evening. And I'll go and see Edward and Brian, and we'll make it a little family party. Oh, sorry. Hello. Good afternoon, Miss Lane.
You were about to say?
Oh, birthday drinks in the pub this evening, all right?
No, I shan't be able to make it.
Oh, what a pity. I've lined everyone else up. Couldn't you just make half an hour?
All right, no longer.
How about you, Mrs. Hammond?
No, thank you. I've made other arrangements.
I remember my 7th birthday. Mother had spent the whole afternoon icing this magnificent cake. It had about an inch of marzipan on the top. And then when we came to eat it, this little horror had scraped his fat thumb right across the top, and all that was left was 7 broken candles and a bare cake. He was sick all night, I'm delighted to say.
Were you a gluttonous child, David?
He was a gluttonous adult.
Who wanted to eat 2 whole punnets of strawberries in the larder and blame me for it?
It's very sensible to blame you. You wouldn't have got walloped. I would have been.
Was he Mummy's favourite?
Oh, little chubby Dave couldn't do a thing wrong.
Sibling rivalry.
Yes, well, nothing's changed.
Yes, well, thank you all for your kind comments and for paying for the booze, but I must love you and leave you.
Oh, you can't leave without making a speech.
I said half an hour. Jill's gone straight to Mother's.
Never mind. Chubby little Dave can do no wrong.
Don't tell me anything.
Well, if you won't make a speech, tell a funny story.
You tell them better than I do.
All right. Man walks into a pub, goes up to the barmaid and says, "How tall is a penny?"
Where's Daddy come?
He's working, darling.
Will he come at the weekend?
I don't know, he might. What have you been doing this afternoon?
Games. Where are we going?
I don't know. Nowhere in particular?
Let's go in there.
Do you like it here, Karen?
It's all right.
And you've made some friends, have you?
Yes.
Lots of friends?
2.
What are their names?
Sylvia and Jean.
Ah, that's nice for you.
Susan Carter was my friend, but she's not anymore.
Ah. What about teachers? Do you
They're
like them?
right.
Just all right.
Except Miss Mills, she's not.
But you like it better here than at the other school?
It's about the same.
But you liked Miss Graham better at the other school, didn't you?
Yes.
Do you miss us?
Who?
Daddy and me.
That's Jean. I wonder where she's going.
Carol, I'm trying to ask you if you miss us and if you get lonely here.
You ask me that every time.
Yes, and you say no. But is that the truth?
I don't know what you want me to say.
I'd better ring Anne.
Have you done that yet?
Well, I rang her from the office, but there's no reply. Well, she could have been asleep, of course. You're round, Ted?
Yeah.
I shan't be coming to your mother's, Edward.
But I've told her to expect you.
What'd she say to that?
Well, what could she say?
You have your family party. I'm going straight home.
We'll see. Oh, Hilary, can I have the same again, please?
Am I invited to this little shindig at your mother's, then?
Hardly think so.
Well, then invite me.
Well, it's not up to me.
Shall I just tag along?
Drunk, Julie.
Have you ever known me get drunk?
Then what will be the point? You just cause embarrassment all round.
I feel like an interesting evening.
You're being malicious.
I'm never malicious. I merely invite malice. It's quite a different thing.
No, thanks.
Still, if your idea of a fun evening is to sit round your mother's sherry bottle, swapping family reminiscences, that's up to you.
Strange. Still no answer.
I've got to go in for supper soon, Mummy.
All right. Carol, if I was away when you come home at half-term, would it upset you?
Away where?
Just away, not at home.
Would Daddy be home?
Oh, yes. But that would be all right with you, then, if Daddy was there and I wasn't.
Who'll do the cooking? Daddy can't even fry an egg.
So the only thing that would worry you is who would do the cooking.
Could I sleep in your bed?
Carol, I am trying to find out if you would miss me if I wasn't there.
For half-term?
For half-term, or any time.
Are you going off with another husband, then?
What on earth made you ask that?
Well, Helen Palmer's mother went off with another husband. She's in our class.
And what did Helen Palmer think of that?
She cried at first, but then her father came to see her with her new mother, and she likes her better.
I see.
Mummy, I must get back now or I'll be in trouble.
All right, Carol. Goodbye, Carol.
Goodbye.
Be good, work hard, and be brave. All those things. Goodbye. Goodbye, Carol.
Anne? Anne? Hello? Oh, hello, Pamela. Oh, no, she's not. Gone to see the children. She never mentioned that to me. Oh, well, thank you for Sorry? No, I have to go to my mother's. I'll probably ring her from there later. Thank you. Bye.
Barbara?
I rang you earlier, but you went in.
I went for a drink. Johnny with you?
No, I want to speak to you on my own.
Coffee?
No, thank you. Well, I carried out my mission.
Good.
I'm now all square with Mrs. Hammond, but not with you.
I told you, Barbara, you can pay me back any time you like.
Did you borrow the money off Edward?
He offered, since you ask.
Ah, I thought it must have been him. Well, that makes things even more difficult.
It doesn't affect you.
Mum, as you might have gathered, Johnny isn't, well, finding his niche, shall we say. He's not here anyway.
I did get that impression.
He wanted to open another boutique. I put him off that.
Good.
He says it's very difficult to make money in this country anyway.
Not for some people.
He's more of an outdoor type, really.
Barbara, what exactly is this leading up to?
Well, we've just spent the afternoon at Canada House.
Barbara.
Just a minute, Mum. Johnny had a friend who went out there. Well, when he left, he was absolutely on his uppers, and he's managed to save $7,000. That was in British Columbia.
First of all, it's Brighton. Then it's Blackpool. Now it's British Columbia. What's it going to be next? Burton-on-Trent or Bangladesh?
No. This is it. We filled in the forms.
What forms?
Well, we can make a pile of money and pay you back, Mum.
What forms?
Emigration.
Yes,
I'm actually looking for someone. Mr. Brian Hammond. They told me at the depot that he'd come here.
Well, yes, they were all here earlier.
Oh, you don't happen to know where he went to, do you?
Miss Dan?
Hello.
You were talking to the Hammonds. Do you know where he went?
Looked as though they were going to make a night of it, whatever it was. Have you, lost a husband?
Brian Hammond.
Ah, Brian. In trouble, is he?
I'm sorry to have bothered.
Oh, just a minute. I think they were going to eat.
You don't happen to know where?
No, but he's bound to come back again.
Why?
Well, I heard Ted say, let's have a quick bite and then come back and wash it down, didn't he, Hill? So, you might as well hang on for a bit. What are you going to have?
Nothing.
Oh, you look as though you need it.
All right. A whiskey, please.
2 large scotches, please, Hill.
The most insidious thing about VAT is that it turns us all into tax collectors for customs and excise. Unpaid, of course. The next thing, they'll have us informing on each other.
Well, a very happy birthday, David.
Yes, a happy birthday, David.
All the very best to both of you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Now that you're all here, there's something I want to say to you.
Ah, Mother's going to make a speech.
No, only a short one. As you know, I take no part in the company anymore, but I continue to take an interest. I don't know all your problems, but one way and another I do get to hear about most of them. I know there's been some friction between you, and that has distressed me a very great deal.
It's been resolved now, Mother.
Oh, then I can only say I'm delighted. But may I appeal to you not to let any rancour remain in your minds. We are a family. Despite all our problems, we must remain a family. That's all I wanted to say, really.
Well done, Mother.
Well, now I'll go and get you some food.
Fine matriarchal sentiment.
I thought you put it very well.
Mother's very good at that sort of thing.
You ever done any water skiing?
What?
Water skiing. I've got this boat down at Poole Harbour. Not as good as the Med, mind you. I was, skiing off Corfu in July. It was fantastic. I can't tell you. What for?
He's probably waiting for me at home.
No, they were all set for a night out. I'll top up again. Hill, would you
No,
mind?
thank you,
Oh, come on. What's the point of going home
no,
and sitting
thank
all
you.
on
I
your
said
own?
thank you for the drink. Good night.
What did I do?
I was just driving past. I saw the lights on.
Tell me.
I knew Brian wouldn't be home yet. Has he rung you?
I've only been in a few minutes.
Well, he's at his mother's.
Oh. I might have guessed.
Well, you seen the children? Hasn't seemed to have cheered you up very much.
Nigel only wanted to know if I could increase his allowance.
And Carol?
She was just... Carol? I'm afraid it didn't do very much good. At least it got rid of a few hours.
Well, I should now get rid of a few more by going up to bed.
You're beginning to sound like the district nurse.
Sorry.
Sorry. It's all right. I'm just being boorish. been one of those awful, empty days, but I have tried to take your advice.
Have you?
Yes. I've been trying to find Brian. Some absurd idea that I would tell him everything. Instead, I found myself in a pub where some slob was trying to make me.
Phone Brian now.
No. Wouldn't have done any good anyway. It's all gone too far. Pamela, it was very kind of you to come round, but don't bother with me anymore.
Will you stop feeling so sorry for yourself?
Please, don't start lecturing me again.
Well, snap out of it, and I won't have to.
Pamela, why are you doing all this?
Well, I just thought I ought to check to see that you were all right.
No, all this. I mean, for the past week, you have been prepared to come here to listen to my stupid, self-pitying meandering. Well, you must have been bored out of your mind. Now, why are you doing this? Is it for me? Is it for Carol? For Brian?
Well, why should it be for Brian?
Because you're still in love with him.
Anne, will you please go to bed?
Look, supposing I weren't here now, just supposing something happened that left Brian free. Now, would you marry him?
I refuse to discuss this anymore.
No, Pamela, I want to know. Would you take him and the children?
Anne, if you don't go upstairs to bed this instant, I shall call Brian at his mother's, get him right over here to put you to bed.
Thank you, Pamela. The answer's in your face. I will go to sleep now. Good night.
Where'd Johnny go?
Well, does he have to go so far?
If it's any job he wants, I'll speak to Edward. Perhaps we can fix him up with a job at Hammond's. Driving a lorry. Your father started by driving a lorry, you may recall. No need to get so toffee-nosed about it.
Mum, he's a hopeless driver.
Well, what can he do?
He can do anything. It's got to be his kind of work. And fun, too. Look, Mum, it's all settled. He can do his forestry thing. I can get a job and study in the evening. There's cheap fares to Canada now. We can come over, say, 3 times a year.
How will you save anything?
Or you can come and see us. Take a holiday in the Rockies. Bring Edward if you like.
Why am I supposed to take him to the Rockies?
You might want to. And that's another thing. I had a long talk with Mrs. Hammond this morning, and I think everything's going to be all right between you two.
You do?
I think I convinced her of my philosophy.
Which is?
The past never existed. We start with a clean slate. You can sort things out with Edward, and we can go to Canada, and nothing has happened to stop any of us doing what we want to do.
And you don't owe me £5,000.
Oh, I didn't mean that, Mum.
Why have I got such a fool for a daughter?
Well, that's not your fault, is it? I was a mistake.
No, you weren't.
Yes, a little more rice.
She's not back yet.
Apparently not.
I expect you stay down there to have some dinner.
Yes, probably.
Ted has just announced he's going to have a holiday.
Yes, that'll be the day.
I'll send you a sober memo about it tomorrow.
When?
As soon as I can get away.
It's high time you had a holiday, Edward. How long will it take? A fortnight?
A fortnight? Well, leave those two in charge for a fortnight. As much as I appreciated your little speech tonight, Mother, I'm not that daft.
Where'll you go?
Ah, now, I've got all that worked out. Now, there's a load going to Faversham on Monday, which if I drop off at the depot in Dover, I can then take another load to Southampton on the Tuesday, and I can go to the West Country and maybe take a couple of hours off to have a swim.
Joking.
No, he's not. That's Ted's idea of a great time. We better impound his heavy goods license.
Well, I think it's time you all had a holiday.
Yes, I should book something soon. Might do Anne some good.
So long as you don't book my week.
That's all right. Jenny and I can look after the depot.
Jenny may be taking the same week.
Same week as you.
Yes, Mother.
Overseas telegrams, please. Belgium. Yeah. Oh, it's 246-8026. Yes. It's to Mr. Nicholas Fox. Palace Hotel. Brussels. The telegram reads... Telegram reads... Yes, I'm still here. The telegram reads... I need you. Signed. Anne. No. There's no need to read it back. God bless.
Yes, we're still here. Ted. It's Jenny.
Oh, well, hello, Jenny, yes?
Jill's got an early call, so we must off. Oh, thank you very much for a lovely party.
Yes, thank you. Such a lovely surprise.
Well, it was wonderful to have you here, all of you.
I'd better be going too. If Anne isn't back soon, she won't have got a train.
We'll drop you home.
Yes, you can have some coffee.
Good night, Mother. Good night, Ted.
Bye.
Good night, Ted.
Well, That's marvellous, Jenny. Yeah. Good night. Oh, Mother, I'll see to those. You go on up to bed.
No, it's quite all right.
It turned out to be quite a good party in the end, didn't it?
Glad you enjoyed it.
Well, didn't you?
For the most part.
Until I mentioned that Jenny was coming on holiday with me, you mean?
You didn't exactly say that, Edward, but it did seem to be implicit.
Well, it wasn't. She wasn't sure, but she's just phoned up now to say that she is.
Well, no doubt you'll enjoy yourselves.
Mother, it was my idea, not Jenny's.
I see.
If you want to blame anyone, blame me.
Edward, I'm trying very hard to keep in mind something that Barbara said to me this morning. It's a piece of advice that's easier for the young to pursue than the old, but I am trying, Edward. Good night.
Anne! Anne!